Hey everyone, are you looking to set up your first CRM system using Podio in real estate? Well, I have a solution for you with a simple tutorial where I'm going to walk you through how to sign up for Podio, set up the real estate investment app pack that Podio provides, and how to actually send and set up text messaging with Twilio so you could have everything within Podio when communicating to sellers and leads. My name is Ariel Herrera with the AnalyticsAriel channel. We bridge the gap between real estate and technology. I love being able to simplify complex processes so that you're able to be empowered within your real estate business to grow and scale. This is the kind of content that you enjoy, then please subscribe as well. Like this so I know to make more of it. All right, let's get started. Before we jump into signing up for Podio and downloading the Real Estate Investment App Pack, let's go over a few touch points to understand why do we need Podio to begin with. First, what is a CRM system? CRM system stands for Customer Relationship Management, and the whole idea here is that you're streamlining the process of working with customers, and you're able to save data on the customer so you can tailor different campaigns as well track the leads that you may have. In this visual here, we see a user on the very bottom. That's someone who may be in your business. If you're a solo business owner, this may be you. On the left-hand side, we see a target, and that is for us to understand our metrics. How do we know if our email or our mail or our text message campaigns are doing well? By having these metrics, we're able to assess this. Then on the top part, we see a robot communicating with a person. A lot of these early communication stages, we can have automated with a computer. That's going to be a lot more efficient and allow us to reach a lot more potential leads in the future. Then on the right-hand side, we could see the funnel. As we know with CRM, we need to be able to understand how many customers come through our pipeline and ultimately which ones become deals. Bottom right-hand corner, we see a light bulb. This is how we're able to actually gather insights from this data, from the system that we create. Next, why do we go from manual to automated? Manual takes so much time. For example, say if we're a wholesaler and we have a list of 1,000 potential people that can become our leads. Now, if we're going to contact each of those homeowners through text message manually, that is going to take us a lot of time. Our competitors who may be going for the same exact market, if they have systems already set, they could maybe hit those 1,000 customers within only an hour with multiple phone numbers. They'll be able to assess which customers are going to be coming in as leads, what performed well, what didn't, and be able to pivot. In the manual section, we're way too bogged down with the tedious, repetitive tasks that it doesn't allow us to scale. This is where Podio comes in. Podio is made by Citrix, and it's a CRM system that has a ton of flexibility. Now, I know of a lot of CRM systems, including Monday, ClickUp, Notion, and more. However, I would say the one that gives you the most flexibility of interacting with outside applications is Podio. And Podio is available not only as a web interface, but also on your phone. Because it's owned by a very large corporation, it has a lot of support to it, and you're rarely going to find bugs or some of those odd issues that you see when you're using very small starting up type CRMs or companies. So how is Podio structured? At the top, we have an organization. This could be you and your entire team that you work with. Potentially, maybe you have a lending business, a wholesaling business, and maybe an investing business where you do flips. Those will be separated in your workspaces. This enables you different groups to organize how you work together. Then within each of these workspaces, you're going to have apps. The apps are the lifeblood of Podio. An example app is Seller Leads. This app would allow you to contact sellers directly, have their information, and log any notes. These apps in general also have tasks and related conversations. Then below apps, we have items. So that's the single unit, a sales lead, a meeting, a project. And this is overall how Podio is structured, fairly simple to get a handle on. Now, what makes Podio really special is Globiflow. Globiflow is what automates different workflows within Podio. Without it, Podio would just be a system where you're entering information, which you could just use Google for that for free. But with Globiflow, you can actually automate it. So for example, every Friday you want to send a certain email out, or you want to set people up on drip campaigns. That is all done by Globiflow. If you want to interact with many different applications, for example, DocuSign, you want to have everything in one where you could send a contract to a potential seller lead. That's going to be done with Globiflow. It also has the availability to connect with many more applications that are very familiar within the real estate space. Lastly, what Globiflow does that's amazing is that it allows us to track metrics. It's meaningless to have all this data on what you're working on if you're not able to assess what's going well, what's not, and have that power to pivot right away. Podio allows us to aggregate the information that we're inputting into its project management system and be able to get some high-level metrics and summarize how we're doing in real time. At this stage, you may be thinking, Ariel, this is all well and great, but I do not have the time to set this all up from scratch. Well, Podio has definitely received a lot of that similar type of feedback, which is why they've created the Real Estate Investment Pack. And what this is basically an assessment of different apps and flows from Globiflow that help to automate your work that are in one single pack so that you can install this and get started right away. So just think of it as leapfrogging, and instead of creating things from scratch, you can get started with their template. Now, in order to use this, you have to have Globiflow, which at this time of recording is $24 per user, which is a relatively low cost in comparison to competitors and with the amount of integrations that are available. Podio also has more information of their app pack in their Podio Help Center. I highly suggest to review this in conjunction with this tutorial, as they have some great information on what's within this app pack and some useful tips on getting started. This tutorial is a little bit more in depth than this article so that you don't have any confusion of getting started. Now let's go into signing up, setting up the real estate investment app pack, and sending out your first text. In this module, we will walk through setting up a Podio account. This is pretty straightforward and easy to do. First, search Podio in Google. Select Citrix Podio. On the top right-hand corner, select Sign Up. Either sign up with your work email address or use Google. Once you have signed up, Podio is going to ask several more questions about your company, industry, as well as how you intend to use Podio. You can quickly fill out each of these and then move on to the next step. Upon completion, Podio will provide a brief overview of their contents. This includes workspaces, apps, and items. So now we have Podio set up. If we see on the right-hand side, we have a Getting Started. You're welcome to actually go through that, but for now, we're just going to skip it. On the left-hand side is where we can see all of our workspaces. We have some that Podio automatically sets up for us. And within our workspaces, we have apps. This is what we're going to be using mostly. In this module, we're going to install the Real Estate Investment App Pack from the App Store. This is what's going to contain all of the apps that we're going to utilize for our business. Within Podio, navigate to Add an App. Within here, go to the App Market. This is where we're going to be able to locate our real estate investment app pack and other apps for the future. On the left-hand side, you could see real estate and property. And here, the real estate investment app pack is the first option. The Podio App Market provides a brief description on what's inside the pack and some of the benefits of it. Down at the bottom, we could see all the apps in this pack. There's 9 in total. If we'd like, we could actually dive deeper and look at some preview screenshots of what we expect to see. This pack contains a seller's lead app, as well as organization of the stage for the seller, drip campaigns, email, deeper information on a lead, and settings. We can also preview the webhooks that we're going to be using, which will be with Globilfow. Now let's actually go into installing the pack. Select Get Pack. You can either create a new workspace or override a current one. I'm going to create a new one and just leave a default name for now. Also, you can set your settings. Private for now works. The install is going to take several seconds. Once installed, see Installed Pack. This is going to bring you back into Podio, where you can see you have a new workspace called Real Estate Investment Pack. You have apps, and now we're ready to install Globilfow to make the best use of them. In this module, we're going to upgrade to Premium in order to have Globilfow. Globilfow provides advanced workflow automation and data visualization. This is what allows us to automatically send texts, be able to receive calls, as well as to send campaigns. There's automation behind it, and the Real Estate Investment Pack already has this set up. Make sure to upgrade to Premium in order to use the feature. Within the workspace, we can see instructions are automatically loaded. Podio has this to show that in order for us to fully use the app pack, we need to install Globilfow. Go up to Upgrade. Here we see there's 3 different options. Within Premium, you have all of the features, including Globilfow. We can click for more information and then ultimately select Upgrade. Within Upgrade, you're going to see that the total cost will be $24 per user. After filling out your details, proceed to payment. Here you can complete payment with a credit card. Once that is done, you'd be able to go back to your account, and within billing, you should see that you have now upgraded to Premium. Great, now we can actually install Globilfow for the app pack. In this module, we'll be going over how to set up Globilfow for a real estate investment app pack. I do want to make you aware that Globilfow is super powerful. It allows us to connect with many different applications. A lot of these here are familiar within the real estate space. These include Batch Leads, Twilio for SMS, CallRail, Mojo Dialer, and even DocuSign. We're going to see how we can connect a lot of these applications using Globilfow. Now that you have upgraded to a Premium account, we could start using Globilfow. We're going to go to Google and type in Citrix Globilfow into our search bar and select the first option, also known as Workflow Automation. Select Login. And here we could see all of our apps. We do need to refresh from Podio so that we can actually install our new real estate investment app pack and the associated Globilfow workflows. The importing takes about 1 to 2 minutes. Once done, you're going to see how many flows were imported, in our case 76. On the left-hand side, we could see the real estate investment pack is now available, and we could see all of our apps underneath it. We can click any of these flows, and inside we're going to get a detailed overview of how this flow works. Although it may seem complicated at first, the 3 steps are triggers, filters, and then actions. Luckily, Podio has already set this up for us so that we can start to utilize it right away. If you need to go back, always select webhooks to see them. In this module, we're going to do several things. First, setting up our Twilio account, which will allow us to have different phone numbers to send and receive text messages. We are going to integrate this within Podio. And once integrated, we're going to be sending out our first text. I highly suggest to start out with the first text on maybe your own cell phone so that you could see how it works. We'll be able to send and receive messages. Let's start by searching Twilio within Google. We're going to select the option twilio.com Communications APIs for SMS. Next, we're going to select Signup and start building. Here we can get started with Twilio for free, enter our account, and then sign up. We're going to be asked to confirm our email to make sure that we're a human. Next, we need to verify our phone number. Here, enter in your cell phone number, and then select Verify. Type in your verification code that you received to your phone number, and then submit. Twilio asks a few upfront questions so that we can get through and sign up. Here I'm selecting that I'm building with no code at all, and my goal is to build something for myself. Now we're at the front page. We need to get a trial phone number. Let's select this button to continue. Here, Twilio is going to generate our own trial phone number. We could save this for records later on. Next, we need to upgrade our account. This will allow us to buy other phone numbers and ultimately connect with Podio. Podio requires us to fund our account. I'm going to select the minimum of $20 and hit continue. You can also select if you want to automatically recharge when your balance gets low. Enter in your credit card information and confirm the payment. Once done, you can go to billing and billing overview, and you can see your current balance. This will allow you to verify that you have paid and that you're ready to buy your phone number. On the left-hand panel, select phone numbers, manage, and buy a number. Here we could select what our prefix is going to be. In this case, 716 is going to give me a list of New York numbers. I'm going to purchase the first one. By scrolling down, you could buy the phone number. Once the phone number is purchased, we'll see it pop up at the bottom. Here we want to click the active numbers, and all the way when we scroll to the end, we should see a section called Messaging Service. Here's where we have a webhook that is going to be replaced based on what's in Globilfow. Navigate back to Podio, and under My Flows, go to Webhooks. Here we want to select our first one, which is Twilio Text Message Response. And at the bottom, we're going to see External Webhook with the link. Copy it and bring it back over into Twilio. Replace it with that previous link, and now save. Next, we want to connect our account ID and our authentication token with Podio. Copy your key and go to Settings and REI, select Twilio. Here we're going to take our SID from Twilio and we're going to paste it within the hidden setting value number 1. Next, we're going to go back into Twilio, select the authentication token, copy it, and paste it into hidden setting value number 2. For the last piece, we want to copy over our Twilio phone number that we bought. We're going to copy the number and then bring it over to setting value number 1. Now we can see that Twilio is in our recent items, having completed setting it up. We're going to go back to our workspace and make sure that we select the workspace for a real estate investment pack. Within here, we're going to set up our first text. We see we have seller leads. This is where information is all located for the seller. We're going to go to add a lead, and here we're going to just type in our own name so that we could test out the text messaging. There's plenty of fields here, but for the ones that are required for testing, all you need to do is enter your first, last name, make sure you select a mobile phone number, and enter it in your phone. Save the lead, and now go over to comments. Within the comments, we are going to be communicating with the seller. We will be able to send texts directly and receive them all through Podio. In the future, we can take it a step further by automating the text using campaigns. Now, to get started, we need to be able to have SMS : in order to start our text message. We can have variables also, such as first name and property address. Here I'm asking the seller if they're interested in selling their property. We could see our text sent. And now if we look over at Google Voice, we could see that the message has been received. I can say, yes, I am, and we're going to see the seller response as well. Terrific. I hope this overview has given you a clear direction to setting up the Real Estate Podio app. Podio is very powerful in the automations you can employ to grow your business at scale. This is relevant for real estate agents, wholesalers, investors, and more professions. I plan to have future videos that are easy to follow, including setting up drip campaigns, purchase and sale contracts, visualizations to track key performance indicators like percentage of leads converted, and my favorite, importing data that will help you evaluate a property with more precise detail. This will include things like property data and estimates, not just for property estimates, but rent estimates as well. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest content. Thanks.